game to lead the way. Defense will look for some improvement here against the Martinsville team that has really struggled offensively so far this year. They were shut out in week 1, 40-0 at home against a North Carolina team in Moorhead, and they were shut out in their exhibition game a week before that as well. So this is a team that has yet to score any points on the season, but it is a 2A team with a lot of speed. So head coach Mark Dixon will be looking to corral that athleticism for Martinsville moving forward. We'll come back and bring you that interview. I chatted with head coach Mark Dixon just a few minutes ago. We'll bring you that right after this. You're listening to Galax Football on WCGX, The Cat.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand at this time and remove your hats as the Galax Military Science Honor Guard will present our colors, and the Galax Maroon Tide marching band will perform our national anthem. Again, ladies and gentlemen, don't forget we have those Chick-fil-A sandwiches for sale here at the bottom of the first box. Also on the visitor side, stop by and pick up a Chick-fil-A sandwich. Also visit the concession stand located opposite the scoreboard. Lots of good things down there, drinks, hot dogs, popcorn. Great experience for your first Galax Maroon Tide home game. Also, ladies and gentlemen, let me remind you again that Whittle College is your key to a better career.
Back here at Galax High School as we get you set for the home opener of the 2019 football season. The Galax Maroon Tide and the Martinsville Bulldogs getting ready to do battle here on the turf as we take a look at the opponent in Martinsville. But first I want to thank head coach Mark Dixon for his time as you heard us the chat a little earlier. Tonight's interview brought to you by Aunt Bee's. Aunt Bee's has 5 locations to serve you in Galax, Hillsville, Independence, Virginia, and Mount Airy and Pilot Mountain, North Carolina. Aunt Bee's has been in business for 33 years and has delicious home-cooked meals, daily specials, famous breakfast served all day, mouth-watering hickory smoked barbecue, fresh catfish tenders, hamburger steak platters, catering service, special name brand jellies, ice cream, milkshakes, sundaes, and more made to order fast. We thank Aunt Bee's for their sponsorship. Also want to remind you that this is the Tide Tailgate Show presented by Chick-fil-A of Mount Airy as we get ready for tonight's game. Chick-fil-A Highway 601 in Mount Airy is the official tailgate sponsor of the award-winning Maroon Tide Sports Network. Tune in every Friday morning with Derek Davis and the Brew Crew on WCGX right here for your chance to compete in the Chick-fil-A Trivia Challenge to win the Chick-fil-A Tailgate Package, which feeds up to 8 people. Chick-fil-A Highway 601 in Mount Airy. Eat Mo Chicken and Roll Tide. Thank you to all our sponsors here on today's pregame show. We'll take a look at the Martinsville Bulldogs. As I mentioned, they lost their home opener, there was their home opener, but their season opener as well. A brutal 40-0 drubbing at the hands of Moorhead. They only mustered 49 total yards in that ball game throughout the entire game, and just 5 on the ground on 21 rushing attempts. So the running game really struggling early on for Martinsville. This is a completely rebuilding program. Head coach Bobby Martin in his first year taking over for Nathan Tanner, and they have reworked the entire offense. So this is a team that is really retooling, even though the team is incredibly experienced, senior-laden, if you will. They have a whole host of seniors and a couple of juniors in the starting lineup, which we'll bring you in a little bit as the captains meet out at center field right now for the coin toss. Just a whole host of seniors on this roster for Martinsville. But head coach Mark Dixon told me, he looks at this team and it's a team that's experienced, but they're still young in the sense that they are retooling under head coach Bobby Martin. So it is a team that is still learning how to play the game in a new system. The captains on the field for Martinsville: Michael Penn, Troy Brandon, Jaden Carolina, and Jermont Meacham. For Galax, on the other side of the ball, Brendan Bryson, Zach Johnson, Cole Pickett, and Tristan Peckrin. Those are your 4 captains for either side. The quarterback for Martinsville, not one of them. 2-0 on the year after defeating Glenvar 32-29, its first time up. Under center for Galax, Cole Pickett to run the offense. He connected well with Zach Johnson in game one. 3 touchdowns to Zach Johnson and 1 to Denver Brown as well. Pickett in the gun. It's a pistol formation. 2 receivers split left. Takes the snap. The give right up the middle to Denver Brown. Up the sideline. He's got space past the 35 up to the 40 before he's tackled shy of the 40-yard line. Give him the 39. First play, a first down. Gain of 14 on first down for the offense. Galax moving the chains right out of the gates. Pickett ties the shoe of Brendan Bryson as he gets the signals from the sidelines. No huddle offense for the Maroon Tide. Again, pistol formation. In motion is Bryson. He ends up wing right. 2 receivers to the left. Again, they go handoff right tackle. It's to Brown. He gets a nice stiff arm past the 45 up to the 48-yard line. A gain of 9 on first down. It'll be 2nd and 1 for the Maroon Tide. Just a yard shy of midfield. So the running game working early.
Johnny Dickerson up the backfield. 35 people in on the stop for the Maroon Tide. It's going to be a loss of about 7 yards on the play. 2nd and 17.
Back has space, 45-50, down the sideline, being chased and run out of bounds in Martinsville territory at the 43. down to the 31-yard line. Moving the chains again is Denver Brown, the senior, who has the first touchdown of the day for Galax to put them 7-0 up. Time continues to tick off here in the first quarter, 6:50 and counting. Pickett takes the snap. He's going to throw, goes deep, and overthrows the open receiver. Santana Sawyers was wide open on a post route from the left side down the middle of the field. He got past the safety down there for Martinsville, Tyler Fulgham, but Pickett just overthrew him. So 2nd and 10 from the 31. Pickett in the gun. He's got Peckrin now in the pistol. Gives it to Peckrin to the right. Crosses the 30. Past the 25-20. Down to the 15. Carrying blockers down to the 10. They'll mark him out at the 12. So he fell a couple yards out of bounds. A first down run for Tristan Peckrin. Peckrin really a do-it-all player for this Galax team. He can line up at the slot. They'll put him at tailback like there. And he can play all over on defense. Moves up to the linebacker position. Can play DB. Jumbo package for Galax. Peckrin in the pistol behind Pickett. Pickett gives to Peckrin right up the middle. He's grabbed there for about a 3-yard gain by Jaden Carolina, one of the captains on this Martinsville defense. Gain of 5. It'll be 2nd and 5. They can get a first down at the 3. Maybe the 2. Tough to see from this angle. Right about the 2 or 3. Pickett in the pistol. Peckrin behind him. The give to Peckrin up the middle. He's got defenders right in his face. Flags fly into the scrum as Peckrin is brought down at the 7. No gain on the play. We'll see what the flag is. It's in the vicinity of holding or maybe a face mask as the flags came in relatively late. But they're moving the ball back. Now they take steps forward. So no signal from the referees. So it must have been a defensive penalty. They move the ball half the distance to the goal. It goes all the way down to the 3. It is 2nd and 1. We're going to guess that was a face mask. Snap back to Pickett. No running back to fake it to, and he just throws it away. Broken play for Galax. He tried to play action to his right, and the running back Peckrin went to his left. So Pickett smartly threw the ball away. He had to roll out to get outside the tackle box as to not get an intentional grounding call. 3rd and 1 now. From the Martinsville 3. In the gun with Brown in the pistol formation behind. Snap, the give to Brown right up the middle, and he's met before the goal line, then charges over the goal line, but the referees blew the whistle as his forward progress was stopped. They mark him down at the 1. So we'll see what Galax decides to do here. It's 4th down. Or no, they're going to probably give him a first down. It's real close. They're going to say no gain, so they actually mark the off across the goal line. Touchdown, Galax. Cole Pickett takes it across the line himself. 13-0. Home side. Pickett went to the right of the center and stretched the ball across the line before charging forward himself. Extra point upcoming. Eduardo Ortiz back on for another. The holder, Colton Keatley. Snap. Hold is good. Kick is up and it's straight through. Ortiz 2 for 2 on extra points. 14-0 is the score. Galax on top. 5:28 to go here in the first quarter. The Maroon Tide offense playing the role of bully early on against the Bulldogs of Martinsville. The visitors coming in from the Piedmont Division a 2A school. Head coach Mark Dixon told me before the game he expects a ton of speed on this Martinsville team. They have a lot of athleticism just trying to learn this new system under head coach Bobby Martin. There have been a lot of growing pains for Martinsville. They'll kick off to the Bulldogs for the second time in the ball game. Ortiz, his boot through it. Ball up in the air, and up to receive is Delvin Roberts. Roberts receives at the 15, cuts forward, and is dropped right at the 22-yard line, met right there by Colton Keatley. So Martinsville will begin. They are marked at the 24. First and 10 from their own side of the field. Moving right to left across your radio dial. Dickerson in the gun, 3 tailbacks. He drops back to pass, throws a bullet to the right side, and it's caught at the 32-yard line. No, it's dropped. Dropped right at the 32, in and out of the breadbasket of Jaheel Martin, senior wide receiver. Martin had it on the sideline. Oh, they say he caught it. So Martin was frustrated with himself, slapped the ground after he lost the football, but they're going to give him the gain as he completed the catch to the ground and then lost it. So it's a gain of 9 on first down for Martinsville, their first positive play on offense after their first drive went nowhere but backwards. A gain of 9 at 2nd and 1 from the 33. And we have a timeout. Timeout, Martinsville. Head coach Bobby Martin, animated on the sideline, nearly throws his hat as he's frustrated with something and had to call timeout. First play on first down there for Martinsville was an absolute bullet from Rashawn Dickerson, who clearly has an arm. Threw it right into the breadbasket of Jaheel Martin on the far sideline. Martin was tackled right there on a button hook pattern, but held on to the football, the referee said, long enough to complete the catch. He slapped the ground after the play as if he had messed it up or made a mistake, but the referees gave him the completion. So out of the timeout here comes the Martinsville offense. Dickerson is the quarterback. He has 3 in the backfield. One wide receiver split to either side. The give is to one of the upbacks, as Dickerson had a sidecar to either side in the backfield. And the push forward for no gain, the referees say. He was met right at the line. It's going to be close to the first down, but just short. So 3rd and inches, as they do give him half a yard. 3rd and inches for this Martinsville side. Same formation. 3 tailbacks, 1 to either side of Dickerson in the gun and 1 in the pistol behind him. Snap. Dickerson drops back, throws another bullet to the right, and it's way overthrown. They were looking for Martin on the little out route, but Dickerson's pass sailed way over his head, and it'll be 4th down. Wholesale changes here for Martinsville. Looks like they'll send out the punting unit. Punting unit gets set. First punt was an absolute beauty. High snap. Punt does just get off. It's a low spiraler that's going to again bounce in the Martinsville direction. Another nice punt by Draco Cleaver, who had no time with a Maroon Tide player bearing down. He had to haul in a high snap and get it off. It's down at the 22-yard line. So again, Galax will have a long way to go to put points up on the board. They do lead 14-0. Still in the first quarter, 3:45 on the clock, and Galax with its third offensive possession. The Maroon Tide 2 for 2 so far on offense today. A touchdown run by Denver Brown and one from quarterback Cole Pickett. Pickett in the gun, takes the snap, rides the ball through for Brown, who busts through the hole, past the 25 up to the 30 and down at the 31. Tackled there by Omarion Hairston. But a gain of 11 on first down, and the Maroon Tide moving the chains. Pickett in the gun. Two receivers split out to the far side left. Takes the snap and flags fly. Again, encroachment on the defense, and again they stop the play dead. Often you'll see the referees, they're allowed to let play continue. But here they've blown it dead, and a free 5 yards for Galax will push them up to the 36. So 1st and 5 now for the Maroon Tide. Pickett in the gun has Brown in the pistol behind him. Same formation. Takes the snap, play action, drops back, lofts it down the middle. He's got Peckrin and it's through his hands. Peckrin wide open at the Martinsville 40 with 3 defenders in his wake, but the ball just over his head. Could not reach out and haul it in. That was a difficult catch as Pickett just put that ball a couple millimeters out of reach. Peckrin could have hauled it in, but had it go off his hands. Again, high degree of difficulty there. It'll be 2nd and 5. Tied back to the line. Low snap. It's on the ground. Pickett can't pick it up. Scrum. Who's got the ball? It's at the Galax 30. Martinsville thinks they have it.
That's the first down I've talked to her in a year, so there you go. Example.
Referee's still trying to pull the ball out of the bottom.
Your brother.
And I believe it's going to be Bulldog football.
No, I didn't, but.
It is. Martinsville with a turnover at the 30, a low shotgun snap, and Pickett could not get his hands on it. There's an injured player down for the Bulldogs. That's Jermont Meacham, one of the captains for this Bulldogs team. He's on the ground, seated near the football, holding his right arm. But the first turnover of the game goes to the Bulldogs, so a bit of momentum shift here. If Martinsville can put something together offensively and punch it in from 30 yards out, we have ourselves a football game. The Bulldogs have not scored points yet this season through a game and a quarter now. They also were shut out in their scrimmage to open the season. So this is an offensively challenged team, and we've seen that so far today, but last drive showed flashes in the passing game. Martinsville and Galax training staff coming together to tend to Meacham. Meacham, a junior linebacker who has seen himself named captain this year for the Bulldogs. Head coach Mark Dixon for Galax did mention before the game, you heard in the pregame interview, that he was hoping to take care of the football. They struggled to do so in game 1. Want to remind you, coming to you from the Twin County Tire and Automotive broadcast booth. Twin County Tire and Automotive has all major brand tires for all makes and models and a top-notch service department serving all your automotive needs. Come by and see them for the best deals in town at 103 Webster Street, across from the police department, or call the scheduled appointment at 276-236-0007. Also want to remind you about Twin County Regional Healthcare, one of our sponsors today. Twin County Regional Healthcare goes the extra step in providing excellent cardiac rehabilitation care. Cardiac rehabilitation is a medically supervised program designed to help patients recover quickly and safely after a cardiac event. The goal is to help patients return to an optimal quality of life with improved heart health. Find out more information. Call Director Karen Burris at 276-236-1763. That's 276-236-1763. Twin County Regional Healthcare, helping hearts, saving lives. Martinsville offense now back onto the field from the 30-yard line of the Maroon Tide. First threatening moment for this Bulldog offense. We'll see if they can put something together. Galax leading 14-0 here midway through the first quarter. Dickerson in the gun, takes the snap, and flags fly. Referee's calling, I believe, a false start here. So a 5-yard penalty pushes Martinsville in the wrong direction. Coaches are frustrated on the far sideline. Martinsville set now from the 35. Dickerson takes the snap, drops back. He's going to go deep down the right sideline. He has a man wide open, just out of the reach of Martin. Oh, man. Martin got behind Santana Sawyers down the right sideline. Cole Pickett was in coverage as well. But it was just out of the reach of Martin, who was wide open. That was a touchdown. Dickerson just overthrowing him. So second and 15. Dickerson takes the snap, pump fakes. Now he goes deep down the right sideline again and again. Overthrows the receiver down there. Pickett in coverage this time. The intended receiver, Trey Wilson. Two deep shots down the far right sideline. And twice, Dickerson, the freshman, overthrows a potential touchdown. Pickett playing safety for the Maroon Tide. He had to come over in coverage as Santana Sawyers, the corner on that side, was covering the flats. So the two of them are in conversation. Martinsville now out for a 3rd and 15 from the 35. Snap. Dickerson wants to run now. A lot of dancing, still in the backfield, being chased by Zach Johnson. Gets across the line of scrimmage, but ridden out of bounds by Johnson at the 33. Markham at the 32, so a gain of 3 on 3rd down for Dickerson. And now in no man's land, we'll see if the offense stays out of the field. Looks like they will. So a gain of 2 now. They mark him back at the 33. 4th and 14.
Yes, you did.
4th and 14 for the Bulldogs. The offense is out on the field. A little short for a punt, little far for a field goal. Dickerson takes the snap, fakes the handoff, wants to throw, dances around in the backfield in all kinds of trouble. Now across the line of scrimmage and pushed backwards to the 35 and tackled there. So Galax will get a turnover on downs at the 35. Dickerson just dancing around in the backfield. His read was covered, and the Galax defense does its job. Pushes the Bulldog offense in the wrong direction and earns a turnover on downs. So the fumbled snap does not come back to haunt the offense for the Maroon Tide. And Galax set to return on offense at its own 35-yard line. Kyle Bond with you at Galax High School. The sun has set in the twilight hours. The lights are on, still not making much of an effect as the sun continues to set towards the end of the first quarter. Snap to Pickett, drops back, goes deep down the right sideline. There's Johnson. It's in and out of his hands. A flag is down, though. In coverage was Trey Wilson down the near sideline. Looked like, to be honest with you, Wilson was just going for the football as much as Johnson, but we could have a pass interference penalty. Referees call Wilson for a little too much contact as Johnson attempted to come back for the football on the near shoulder. And it'll be 15 yards for the Galax offense. That'll push them right up around midfield, maybe into Martinsville territory.
So she wrecked it and then decided to keep driving.
At the 49-yard line of the Bulldogs, Galax with a first down. Pickett in the gun. Same formation, 2 receivers to the far side left. Takes the snap, gives to Brown. Brown off tackle left, lots of room to the 45, to the 40. Has space, 35, 30 down the sideline. He could go 20, 15, 10, and met there as the Bulldogs defense finally catches up to Denver Brown down the far sideline, but not before a huge gain puts Galax in the red zone. A gain of 39 yards on the ground for Denver Brown, who continues to run rampant here in the first quarter. 1:26 to go before the end of the first quarter, and Galax threatening yet again. Just really the one snap miscue, the only trouble on offense so far for the Maroon Tide. Pickett in the gun. He's got Brown's sidecar left. 2 receivers to the near side right. Takes a high snap, then fakes it to Brown. He's going to keep it himself. Pickett, Brown's got a lead blocker. Pickett to the near side, sideline, dives to the pylon, touchdown! Cole Pickett with his second rushing touchdown of the day. And Galax goes up 20-0. Cole Pickett behind 2 or 3 lead blockers. Leading the way was Denver Brown on the run-pass option. Pickett pulled the ball back out of the breadbasket, kept it himself, and charged forward behind Denver Brown and company. Out for the extra point, Eduardo Ortiz. He's 2 for 2 so far today in point afters. The holder is Colton Keatley. Good snap. Hold is down, and the kick is good. 21-0. Galax in front, nearing the end of the first quarter. 1:17 on the clock. And Martinsville will again look to put something together offensively. They're showing signs of competency on offense, just cannot put it together. Last possession, the Bulldogs had a couple of passes down the far sideline. One to Jahiel Martin and one to Trey Wilson, both of them falling just shy of the fingertips. Kickoff team set. Back to receive for the Bulldogs, Delvin Roberts yet again. Ortiz ready for the kick. Puts his foot through. High short kick fielded at the 15 by Roberts. He's got lead blockers and a hole past the 35. Cuts across the field to the 37 before he's met there by Santana Sawyers. And good field position for the Bulldogs. Martinsville set for its 4th offensive possession. They have not seen much positive yardage, but the possibilities are there in the passing game. The running game is being bullied up front by this 3-4 front of the Maroon Tide. Up front for Galax, a 3-4 defense with Bender Rojas up there, Lee Peoples. Dickerson takes the snap, gives to the tailback Roberts. He's met right at the line of scrimmage and does push forward for a couple. Down to the 39, so give him a gain of 3 on first down. A good start for the Bulldogs as they look to put together positive yardage.
I don't even know who that is, so it's not me. But I don't know who that person is.
2nd and 7. Ball on the 39-yard line of the Bulldogs. Snap to Dickerson. He's going to keep it himself right up the middle. Pushes forward past the 40. Still pushing forward through a couple of tackles and finally brought down at the 43. An impressive run up the middle by the freshman, Rashawn Dickerson. And the Bulldogs looking at their first 3rd and short. The 3rd and 3 at the 44. Snap back to Dickerson. He's going to give to Roberts this time, who dances left and is met in the backfield. The Maroon Tide stuffs it on 3rd down. A loss of 3. Back to the 41, mark at the 42 now. And we'll see a 4th and 4 for the Bulldogs, who again bring on the punting unit. Draco Cleaver has been excellent punting the football, but before that, we finished the first quarter, 21-0. Galax dominant on both sides of the football. And we will come back right after this. You're listening to Galax Football on WCGX The Cat. Back at Galax High School, where the Maroon Tide leads 21-0 after a successful first quarter on both sides of the football. Martinsville is set to punt, but Galax took a timeout right as they came out of the quarter break. Not often you see that. Maroon Tide with a quick chat from head coach Mark Dixon before returning to the field. The Bulldogs ready to go as well. Punter Draco Cleaver for the Bulldogs has been fantastic. No, they're going to go for it now out of the quarter break. Dickerson in all kinds of trouble, running around looking for a man to pass to. Now he's going to run it past the 40 and tackled right there. An excellent tackle by Riley Joe Vaught on the far sideline. Boy, they were in punt formation. And a bit surprised they went for it there on Bulldog territory. So a turnover on downs. Galax will be on offense. It's still early in this football game, and if Martinsville can put a couple of positive plays together, they could certainly, at least at this point, get back into this. So I'm surprised that they chose to go for it on 4th down. But I guess head coach Bobby Martin deciding that out of the quarter break he had enough time to talk to his offense. So Galax takes over, Pickett in the gun. He's got Brown sidecar right. 2 receivers split out to the near side left. Play action, Pickett going over the middle, and it drops in no man's land in sort of a Bermuda triangle between 3 receivers. Pickett just sort of shot put that one over the offensive line, and it landed about 10 yards downfield in smack in the middle of a triangle of 3 wide receivers. So incomplete pass. 2nd and 10 from the Martinsville 40. Pickett in the pistol now. Takes the snap. The give to Brown. Right tackle. Pushes across the line of scrimmage. Up past the 35. Still carrying tacklers now to the 33. They'll mark him down at the 32. A gain of 8 And 3rd and 2 now for the Maroon Tide as the sideline moves en masse with the football. The Galax sideline here in front of us. Martinsville on the far side. Pickett in the gun. Calling signals now, looking right to left across his offensive line. Calls for a man in motion and timeout Galax. Mark Dixon did not like what he saw there on 3rd down, so he is going to blow this one dead. Dixon walks out and talks to Pickett and has a word with Brendan Bryson as well. He's the wingman, if you will, who goes in motion across the line of scrimmage, just offset from the offensive line. This Galax formation, they run a pistol with Pickett in the gun. Usually Brown is behind him, sometimes sidecar to the right. Then you have your 5 standard offensive linemen. Bryson is sort of the setback tight end, if you will, wingman, who can sometimes go in motion left to right, right to left. And then 2 receivers split to the wide side and 1 receiver split to the near side is generally how they line up. So out of the timeout, 21-0, early 2nd quarter here at Galax High School. The Maroon Tide with a commanding lead and in Bulldog territory. 2 receivers to the near side left, that is the wide side. 1 to the far side right, that's Johnson. Pickett in the gun, he's got Brown pistol behind him in the tailback spot. Snap, the give to Brown. It was run pass option. They gave it to Brown past the 30 for a 1st down and to the 27. I thought for a moment that Denver Brown would be stopped at the line of scrimmage, and I was surprised that Pickett decided to give him that football. Cole Pickett has the option in that run pass option to pull it out of the breadbasket and throw it downfield, and with defenders there, I'm surprised he gave Brown the football, but Denver Brown powered through a couple of tacklers and earned the 1st down, moving the chains. The Maroon Tide continue to push forward. 1st and 10 now at the 27-yard line. Pickett in the gun, takes the snap, gives it to Brown, right tackle, has some blockers, up past the 25, met at the 24, and dropped down at the 23. Denver Brown continues to power through this defensive line for the Bulldogs. Martinsville player now is down at the point of contact at the 24 on the far sideline. Getting up slowly, Javante Mans. He was about to get up off his back, and the training staff said, no, just lay there for a second so we can evaluate you. So the Galax offense comes to the near side to meet with head coach Mark Dixon. Cole Pickett running that run-pass option, which was sort of birthed nationally by Rich Rodriguez, head coach at West Virginia, then moved to Arizona, and now is the offensive coordinator at Ole Miss. It's only slowly made its way into the high school ranks nationwide. It is a difficult offensive system to play because it relies on the quarterback to put the football into the breadbasket of the running back and then decide whether to hand it off or to throw a pass in that split second of time as the running back is powering forward. 2nd and 6 now as we are ready to play. Pickett in the gun, play action, deep down the right side. He's got Johnson looking over his shoulder, makes the catch. Was he in bounds? Touchdown! Galax! Pickett to Johnson makes a spectacular catch on the far sideline in the end zone. Jalen Finney in coverage, but Johnson comes down with his 1st touchdown of the day, his 4th of the season. And Galax up now 27-0, trying to put this one away quickly. Ortiz on for his 4th extra point, 3 for 3 on the day. Snap back, great snap, good hold, nearly blocked off the left side, but they get it off and it's good. 28-0. Maroon Tide powering forward with successful offensive series after successful offensive series. Zach Johnson on the far sideline looking over his left shoulder in towards the middle of the field was able to make a shoestring catch under pressure and keep his foot in bounds. Referee was right there to make that call.
Oh, I see how it is. We all fail.
So Zach Johnson with the 27-yard touchdown reception. Galax leads 28-0. Kickoff coming as Ortiz puts his boot through it. This one is a fabulous kick. It goes into the end zone, and having to down it right there is Delvin Roberts. Ortiz clobbered that one into the end zone. Roberts flubbed that as he tried to reach up and make the catch at the 3, but it went through his hands, probably luckily for him. And the Bulldogs will move out to the 20-yard line. New rule in college the last couple of years is that kickoffs down in the end zone move you out to the 25, but in high school you still just get the 20. Kyle Bond with you here at Galax High School. 10:03 to go in the second quarter. Tide leading 28-0. Martinsville with another offensive set. Into the gun, Rashawn Dickerson. He's got one tailback sidecar right. Takes the snap. He's going to bootleg to the right. Has some time. Throwing deep down the sideline and over the head of his receiver, Troy Brandon. That was a fantastic throw by Rashawn Dickerson. Brandon, though, thought it was going to be short and slammed on the brakes to come back to the football, and then it went 5 yards over his head. So, tough play there by the wide receiver who, had he kept running, would have probably caught that one in stride or maybe would have had to slow down a little bit, but still had his man beat. Brandon, a senior. It'll be 2nd and 10 from the 20. That was a well-designed play. Dickerson bootlegged out to the near side right, had some blockers and had some time. 2nd and 10. Taking the snap. Flags fly, but the play continues deep down the left sideline. Dickerson has a man, and it falls to the turf. Again, just out of the reach. Jahiel Martin diving to make that catch. That one a little more catchable than the one he dove for last series in the end zone. Off his hands, Martin continues to get past this Galax secondary. Illegal shift is the penalty, so it wouldn't have counted anyways. But Galax will decline the penalty to make it 3rd and 10. There's a half moon shining brightly out on the far side. Dickerson takes the snap. He's going to option keep it himself past the 20, smothered at the 21 and pushed backwards. Probably would have wanted to pitch that as the running back had space. Dickerson decided to keep it himself. Got one on 3rd down. It'll be 4th and 9. Punting unit comes on for the Bulldogs. So, the Bulldogs set to punt from their own 21-yard line. Snapback nearly blocked. A line drive kick as a result. Bounces past the 50. A great Bulldog bounce yet again past the 40 and down at the 38-yard line. So, Galax will start at its own 38 after Draco Cleaver has yet another fabulous punt. That one a line drive, but he gets the roll. That one rolled probably a good 15 yards. And the Tide will begin anew. 28-0 the score. Galax on top with 8:45 to go here in the second quarter. Kyle Bond with you at Galax High School for game number 2 of the season for the Maroon Tide. They are 1-0 after topping Glenver 32-29 in the opener on the road. This, the home opener. Pickett in the gun, takes the snap, Play action, in trouble now, escapes pressure, pump fakes, he's going to run it himself past the 40 and is plastered at the 43-yard line. Hammered there by Jacavis Wimbush. Pickett may want to think about passing that. He thought about dumping it off to his slot or a split receiver down on that side. Out there on the near side is Colton Keatley. Keatley gave him an option, but Pickett decided to pump fake, then keep it himself. He's in the pistol. All told, it was a gain of 4. Now at the 43, taking the snap, giving it to Brown. Tons of space across midfield, stiff arm down to the 40, and Brown out of bounds there. He's frustrated, thought he could have had more. A wonderful stiff arm through Timer Fulgham to the turf, and a first down for Denver Brown. Denver Brown has been the star of this first half. We'll get you accurate numbers at halftime, but he has run all over this Bulldog defense. They mark him down at the 38-yard line in enemy territory. Pickett in the gun. He's got Brown sidecar left. 2 receivers far side right. 1 to the near side left in Keatley. Snap back to Pickett. Play action. Crossing route. He's got Johnson, who's hammered at the 25, but not before a first down throw of 13 yards from Pickett to Zach Johnson. You can tell those two are on the same page. Pickett ran a skinny post, or excuse me, Johnson ran a skinny post and was open 13 yards down the field. He was whacked right after making the catch. Credit Johnson for holding on to the football. First and 10 from the 25-yard line. Pickett takes the snap, pulls the ball out of the breadbasket to Brown, wants to throw it and throws it away to the left. 3 players in white chasing Pickett to the near side left, as Clarence Pluckett was one of the 3. Also, Khalili Niblett. There's a flag down now after the play. We'll see what this is. This is in the backfield. Referees talking about it. They're going to push Galax back. It's a 10-yard penalty. These referees are not giving us signals. Now they're moving it back 5 yards. Unsure of what that penalty was.
I want the change.
Whatever it was, 5-yard penalty on Galax. Maybe an illegal shift, maybe hands to the face or something. They'll replay second down. So 2nd and 15 for the Tide. Pickett takes the snap, drops back, looks to his right, has a man, but Johnson was not looking back for the football that quickly. It looked like Pickett was expecting Johnson to run a quick 5-yard out, and Johnson went 10 yards and never turned around as the ball sailed past his back. So it'll be 3rd and 10 from the 30, or excuse me, 3rd and 15 from the 30. Galax leading 28-0 in Bulldog territory. 7:23 to go in the second quarter. Pickett takes the snap, drops back, has time, now has players in his face. They throw a screen pass here to the near side. Brendan Bryson. Bryson tripped up out of the bounds, though, just past the line of scrimmage, down to the 28, so just a gain of 2 on 3rd down, and we'll see what Galax decides to do. It's 4th and very long, 4th and about 13, but they're in that no man's land territory where we saw Martinsville go for it earlier. Looks like they're going to keep the offense on the field. Ball on the 28-yard line. Too far for a field goal here. This is professional field goal territory. The field goal would be about 45 yards or so. Too close for a punt. Galax has not punted all day. And we're going to see them run the play clock out here before maybe taking their last time out of the half with 7:16 to go. They do run the play clock out, which doesn't make a lot of sense since the game clock wasn't running. But nonetheless, the Maroon Tide with its final timeout of the first half. At halftime, we'll bring you a scoring update But first, let's run through what we've got so far. Galax leading 28-0. Cole Pickett has 2 touchdown runs, one of 2 yards and one of 7 yards. Denver Brown ran the first one in from 11 yards out. And then Pickett, with his first passing touchdown of the day, hit Zach Johnson from 27 yards out down the far sideline. A fabulous catch by Johnson in the end zone on the sideline. That's where we are at 28-0. That's your scoring recap so far, brought to you by Blue Ridge Tire and Automotive, your hometown garage for auto repairs and oil changes. New tires, tire maintenance, tune-ups, and inspection. All your automotive needs located at 1101 South Main Street in Galax. Open Monday to Friday, 8 to 5. Call them at 276-238-0011. 4th and 13 from the Martinsville 28-yard line. Pickett takes the snap. He rolls to his right, throws across his body down to the end zone, and it's intercepted in the end zone. That's going to serve effectively as a punt. Not a terrible strategy there by Galax. It's ugly on the stat sheet as Jalen Finney picked that off, but it still serves Galax well, as Martinsville will start on its own 20, and effectively that's a 7-yard punt down deep in Bulldog territory. Theoretically, Finney, if he had knocked that down in the end zone, would have gained an extra 7 yards for the Bulldogs. Instead, by picking it off, they come out to the 20-yard line instead of the 27. So, the Bulldogs back out on offense with 80 yards to go to stop the bleeding. Dickerson in the gun, takes the snap, gives to the running. No, it's play action. He rolls out to his left, has a man at the sticks, makes the catch at the 30, pushing up past the 35 down the sideline before going out of bounds for the Bulldogs, Javante Mans. So Mans makes the catch on the far sideline and pushes Martinsville up to the 40-yard line, a gain of 20. That's by far the Bulldogs' biggest offensive play of the day. Wonderful play action. Fooled me. I thought that Dickerson had handed it off to the pistol back. So 1st and 10 from the Martinsville 40. Moving toward midfield, left to right across your radio dial. Dickerson in the gun. A running back behind him and a running back to his right. Takes the snap. Another play action, this time rolling to his right. Makes the throw, and it's incomplete in great coverage here on the near side for the Tide, Keaton Beeman. Excuse me, that's not Beeman. I believe that's Zach Johnson. Johnson in coverage. Cole Pickett there as well. Great coverage coming up to meet the football right as the pass arrived at the wide receiver. So 2nd and 10 from the 40. Midfield for a first down for the Bulldogs. Dickerson again in the gun with 2 running backs stacked to his left. Takes the snap. The give is up the middle, and it is stuffed by this Galax front line. 4 or 5 maroon shirts all right there to meet the ball carrier. Third and 10 after no gain on the run. Delvin Roberts has been the main man out of the backfield for the Bulldogs. He had the carry there. 2 receivers split out to the far side left. In the slot is Javante Mans, who had that 20-yard reception to get them here to the 40. 1 receiver to the near side right. Low snap. Dickerson's going to take it himself across the 40. Has space across midfield for a first down to the 45-40. 35-30. Giving chase is Peckrin down the sideline and finally pushed out of bounds near the 20-yard line. We'll see where they mark him out. A 40-yard run by Rashawn Dickerson has Martinsville into the red zone or thereabouts. They're going to mark him out at the 21, so just out of the red zone. A 39-yard run by Dickerson up the middle on 3rd and long.
Oh my God, Ben.
The Bulldogs moving the chains. 1st and 10 now at the Galax 21. Dickerson in the gun has a running back to either side and one in the pistol. Takes the snap, looks to throw, down the sideline, one-on-one, and it drops incomplete. Intended for Troy Brandon, and in coverage was Santana Sawyers. Sawyers excellent in coverage there. He was stride for stride with Brandon. So it'll be 2nd and 10 from the 21. Martinsville looking for its first points not only of the game but of the season. They trailed 28-0, shut out 40-0 in their season opener. Same formation, a running back sidecar either side of Dickerson and one behind him. Takes the snap, drops back to pass, looking to his left. Now he scrambles to his left, sets to throw. He's in under pressure, still running around in the backfield. Comes back to the right, throws over the middle into double coverage. It's caught in the back of the end zone for a touchdown. 2 corners slammed into each other in coverage, and that left wide open in the back of the end zone for the catch. I believe Javante Mans. Either way, it is a touchdown. Martinsville scores for the first time this season. It was in double coverage. I think Johnson and Pickett were back there deep in the back of the end zone, but the two of them both jumped the football and got in each other's way, and the ball fluttered right over their heads into the waiting arms of the wide receiver. So with 5:36 to go in the second quarter, the extra point is up and good. Martinsville scores for the first time this year. The score now 28-7. Couple of big plays. You heard head coach Mark Dixon say before the game that was the one thing on defense they were trying to prevent were the big plays. Well, right out of the gates, Rashawn Dickerson on this possession hit Troy Brandon for a 20-yard pass gain that moved him up to the 40, and then Dickerson took it himself on 3rd and long, 39 yards to the 21-yard line. And then Dickerson found the back of the end zone for a touchdown. Martinsville to kick off. Back deep to receive for Galax, Zach Johnson and Tristan Peckrin. Putting his boot through it is Draco Cleaver. Kick returned by Johnson at the 15. Cuts up the middle, past the 20, up to the 30, and down to the 35. Falling forward is Johnson. Galax will return on offense with 5.5 to go here in the second quarter. Kyle Bond with you at Galax High School. Appreciate all our sponsors here today on our first broadcast of the year. Ampy's Restaurants, Blue Ridge Tire and Automotive, Chick-fil-A of Mount Airy, Isom Collision and Custom Paint, Twin County Regional Healthcare, Twin County Tire and Automotive, and Vaughn Gwynn Funeral Home. Thank you to all of our sponsors. Pickett takes the snap, hands to Peckrin, past the 35, cutting to his left across the 40, and dragged out of bounds near the 45. We'll see if they give him the 45, maybe the 44. They do mark him out at the 44. So a gain of 9 on first down for Tristan Peckrin out of the backfield. As Denver Brown gets a series off. Quickly back to the line of scrimmage, 2nd and 1. Pickett takes the snap, gives to Peckrin again, left tackle, huge hole across midfield, down across the 40, stays in bounds, 30, 25, 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown! Galax responds immediately. Tristan Peckrin goes 56 yards for the touchdown. It's 34-7. Heckran using the left sideline, danced across the chalk, stayed in bounds, and found daylight across the 35, and it was cake from there. Ortiz in for his 5th extra point try, and it's stuffed as coming right through the line across the middle, Jahil Martin to block that kick. The first miss of the day for Ortiz, and now a late flag comes out. Wonder if he came across illegally through the center. You're not allowed to touch the center, and Martin came right through the heart of the offensive line. The Galax kicking team is running back out onto the field. I think they're going to say that that kick was blocked illegally. They're going to bring the Bulldogs back out onto the field as well. The ball moving half the distance to the goal. Yeah, they call personal foul, which means they went through the center illegally, and now they're going to try the extra point again as Galax comes out in kicking formation. They're not going to go for 2 here. Low snap, corralled, kick is up and through. So Galax profits for a point off the penalty. It is 35-0. Maroon Tide all over the Bulldogs of Martinsville. You wonder if head coach Mark Dixon will elect to empty his bench at some point in the second half. We still have 4:48 to go before halftime. Galax will get set for the kickoff. Martinsville scored for the first time all season on its last possession. In its 6th quarter of play, actually make it its 10th quarter of play, not officially, but they were shut out in their exhibition game before the season and then shut out again in their first official game last week at home against Moorhead, where they mustered just 49 total yards of offense, including just 5 yards on the ground. All of that has been smashed as they have found holes recently against this Galax defense, but still just to the tune of 7 points. Ortiz ready to kick. Puts his boot through it at the 40-yard line. It's a low line drive that goes off the hands of a Martinsville player who grabs it before going out of bounds. Recovering that, Zion Adams near the 30-yard line. They mark him out of bounds at the 28. So that's where the Bulldogs will start. Smart play by Adams once it went off his chest and trickled towards the sideline. He raced forward and grabbed it just to save it from bouncing backwards a few more yards before crossing the white sideline. Beautiful turf field here at Galax High School. Martinsville on offense at its own 28-yard line. Bulldogs coming to the line. And the referees stop play here for a second. An official timeout as they want to. Now no flag came out, but they move the Bulldogs back 5 yards, so maybe a false start here or illegal motion. 1st and 15 now for the Bulldogs. Dickerson in the gun, takes the snap, drops back, under pressure now, flushed out to the left. He's going to run it himself across the 25, back to the line of scrimmage, across the 35 now, and nearing the sticks before he goes out of bounds. They're going to mark him out at the 36. So a gain of 7 on first down, actually make it 8. Nice recovery by Dickerson, who saw a hole and charged forward. He looped around in the backfield and had a ways to go before even reaching the line of scrimmage. So 2nd and 2. Snap back. Dickerson drops back, has a lot more time on this one. Now the cavalry comes. He's flushed way into the backfield and throws it out of bounds. Flags come out for intentional grounding. They're going to say that Dickerson was not out of the tackle box. That's a bit surprising as he was racing around in the backfield. He can do that if he is out of the tackle box. I'm a bit surprised the referees threw the flag there. The ball started on the far hash mark, and Dickerson threw that out of bounds at the near hash mark. Looked like he was out of the tackle box, but they say intentional grounding. So that's a huge penalty on the Bulldogs. It's going to be a loss of down, which will make it 3rd down, and they're going to mark the ball all the way back at the spot of the foul and 5 yards from there. Oh, a huge loss. That play started 2nd and 2 at the 36, and they're going to be pushed all the way back to the 13. It's a 26-yard penalty. And it's 3rd and 25. Wow. Brutal turn of events for the Bulldogs here near the end of the first half. 4:27 on the game clock. 35-7, Galax on top. The referees are talking about this. They're still chatting. They're going to chat with Martinsville head coach now, Bobby Martin, coming out to talk with the officials. I'm surprised they made that call. Dickerson was in all kinds of trouble and scrambled out to the near side right. Martinsville moving left to right here in the second quarter. Scrambled out to the near side right and threw that. I mean, clearly he threw it out of bounds, almost laterally. The ball didn't reach the line of scrimmage, but still he was out of the tackle box. So, 3rd and extremely long now for Martinsville's pinned back in its own red zone. Snap back, they go screen pass to the far side left, and it's absolutely smothered. Tackled all the way back at the 2-yard line is Trey Wilson. Wilson smothered by a number of maroon jerseys in there. Isaac Hawks, one of the players down there. Also in on the tackle, Lee Peoples. And now Draco Cleaver will punt from way back in his own end zone. Snap back, it's a good one. Punt is partially blocked, and it lands at the 20-yard line. The ball finally rolled and was down to the 25. The Martinsville Bulldogs are trying to say that that was touched by a Galax player and should be a live football, but it was blocked, and therefore that's out of potential. Referees will confer. The football was blocked, but I believe they can still down it. 3:33 to go. 35-7. Galax with a big lead. They have been dominant offensively. Referees are talking about this. Cleaver's punt was tipped. It wasn't fully blocked in the end zone. It was tipped and still made it out to the 20-yard line and bounced out to the 25, but it landed in traffic as the Gunners went to cover, and their blockers went with them. Long conference by our 4 officials down on the 17-yard line. Now the officials break conference. Not a ton of giddy up in these officials tonight. They're happy to waltz down the field and have a conversation with both head coaches. There's an official talking to the Galax huddle now as well. 3 officials here on the near side, and 1 official talking to Martinsville head coach Bobby Martin. Long conference here with Mark Dixon on the near side. The football is spotted at the 24, and I believe they're going to allow the Bulldogs to return on offense. So because that was tipped, Martinsville regains possession, and it will be Bulldogs on offense. I'm a bit surprised because it didn't reach the first down marker, so you would think that it would still be a turnover on downs if nothing else. Shotgun snap to Dickerson as Martinsville stays on offense. Designed bootleg for Dickerson, and he's planted back at the 20-yard line on the far sideline, a loss of 4. And it will be 2nd and 14. Kyle Bond with you at Galax High School. The Tide leading 35-7 over the visiting Martinsville Bulldogs. Holding call on the play will push the Bulldogs even further back. So it's going to stay first down as Galax elects to take the penalty rather than the loss of 4. They're going to lose 12 on the holding penalty. Holding is a spot foul. So 1st and 22, Martinsville continuing to go backwards. Snap, handoff up the middle, and Delvin Roberts is stuffed. No gain on the play. 2nd and 22. Well, they do give Roberts 2 yards. So 2nd and 20 now, back at the 14 for the Bulldogs. Martinsville showed flashes in the middle of this first half, end of the first quarter, early second quarter, but they have reverted on offense back to the early struggles. Second and 20 for the Bulldogs. Split out to the far side, Troy Brandon. And he has a slot receiver, Jahil Martin, as well. Now, receivers, 2 of them on the near side right as well. Dickerson takes the snap, under pressure almost immediately, scrambling out to his right. Lost the football, has a man, but he overthrows it. Down the near sideline, Brandon, who swapped sidelines at the last second before the snap from the far side left to the near side right in motion. He was open down the near sideline, but Dickerson with a little too much adrenaline scrambling to his right. It'll be 3rd down and 20. There was a flag down, though, and wow, did not see this one, but a late flag and roughing the passer is going to push Martinsville 15 yards up and give them an automatic first down. So spot the ball at the 29. And that should be an automatic first down for the Bulldogs. Well, they're going to say it's 3rd and 5. I don't know how roughing the passer can be 3rd and 5. The chains have not moved. Correction, 2nd and 5. Roughing the passer should be an automatic first down. Nonetheless, they just get the 15 yards. It's 2nd and 5. 29-yard line is where the Bulldogs start. Snap back and a handoff up the middle Met at the line of scrimmage is Roberts. He falls forward for 5 yards near the first down marker.
22. That's the ball carrier.
Actually, that's Zion Adams now in the backfield, carrying the ball and moving the chains. So a 5-yard gain gives the Bulldogs a first down. Ball at the 34, 1st and 10. Snap back to Dickerson. He doesn't know where to go with it. Broken play in the backfield. Now he's got time, looking to throw, and is smothered. Right there with the sack, Andrew Belcher. Dropped in the backfield for a loss of 4 is Dickerson. That was a broken play. Dickerson reached out to hand the ball off, and there was no one there to receive the handoff. So he tried to make something of it on his own. Ended up a 4-yard sack for Belcher. So 2nd and 14. Martinsville just trying to get something going on offense. Change at quarterback now. It looks to be Trey Wilson. Nope, pitch back, loose football, falling on it is Zion Adams, and that'll be another loss. At quarterback now, Troy Odell.
About 5 yards on the play. 3rd and 20.
3rd and 20. Make it 21. Ball at the 23. Odell now in the shotgun. Takes the snap. Drops back. Looks to pass to the right side, and it's off the fingertips of a receiver. That's Javante Mans. And it will be 4th down. Martinsville brings in the punting unit, trailing 35-7, 43 seconds to go here in the second quarter. And the Bulldogs will punt it back to the Maroon Tide. We'll see what Galax elects to do here, if they want to work some more on offense or if they just kneel it and go into halftime. Martinsville set for the punt at the 22. Draco Cleaver has been one of the bright spots for the Bulldogs in this ball game as they bring in another player with just 10 on the field. Cleaver has had pressure in his face all day in the punting game and has gotten off a couple of nice ones. Snap back, more men in his face. He gets it high in the air. This one lands before midfield, and it's downed at the 43. Not much Cleaver could do there with 2 men in his face. Had to boot it high in the air just to get it over the heads of the oncoming rush. And it's down at the Martinsville 43. So Galax with plus field position. We'll see if they look to run some plays with 35 seconds left or if they want to just kneel it down. Coaches giving signals. Martinsville offense on the ball at the 43. 1st and 10.
Ball's ready for play.
Pickett in the gun. Takes the snap, drops back. They are going to run a play. It's a swing pass on the far side. Smothered is Brendan Bryson. No gain on the play. And there's a Martinsville player down right at the line of scrimmage. So we'll take a moment. You're listening to this broadcast from the Twin County Tire and Automotive broadcast booth. They have all the major brand tires for all makes and models and a top-notch service department serving all of your automotive needs. Give them a call at 276-236-0007. Also want to thank Aunt B's Restaurants They have 5 locations to serve you in Galax, Hillsville, and Independence, Virginia, as well as Mount Airy and Pilot Mountain, North Carolina. Aunt Bee's has been in business for 33 years and has delicious home-cooked meals, daily specials, famous breakfast served all day, hickory smoked barbecue, catfish tenders, hamburger steak plates, and they cater. Made to order fast. That's Aunt Bee's Restaurants. The player down for the Bulldogs appears, don't want to give you a name before we can confirm who it is, sitting up on his rear end talking to the training staff of both teams. I believe that's Andre Harrison. It is. Harrison gets a hand up from the trainers and looks to be able to walk off somewhat under his own power. Hand around his shoulders. He's still standing there at the 43-yard line, up on his feet. And he does slowly walk off under his own power. Harrison, a sophomore guard. So, the Maroon Tide offense returns. 23 seconds left before the half, leading 35-7. An illegal shift has moved the Tide back to the 48-yard line. Snap back to Pickett, drops back, has all day to throw. Looking left, goes deep down the left sideline, caught at the 20-yard line and dropped there at the 17. Brendan Bryson makes the catch. He just waited for that football to flutter over the head of the defensive back. In coverage, Tamir Fulgham, but Fulgham jumped it and the ball went over his head. So quickly, they spike it with 11 seconds to go. And that will give the Maroon Tide a chance to try and punch this one in. They are in field goal range at the 17. It would be about a 34-yard field goal. And it looks like they may bring the kicking unit in. With 11 seconds left, surprised they don't take a shot to the end zone. 11 seconds to go, 11.7, or excuse me, 11.4 officially. You would think that that would be enough time to take a shot to the end zone. Nonetheless, the kicking unit comes on. So Eduardo Ortiz is 4 of 5 for extra points. 5 of 5, excuse me, on extra points. And flags fly here as the snap is delivered. We'll see which way this goes. This is on the defense, so 5 extra yards for the Maroon Tide. I wonder if that changes the minds of head coach Mark Dixon here. As the end zone's a little closer, they'll keep the kicking unit on. Kick will be 29 yards for Ortiz. Snap back, hold down, kick is up, and it's good. Eduardo Ortiz converts his first field goal of the day. He's got 8 points. And the Maroon Tide lead is 38-7. 7.2 remaining on the clock. So a kickoff coming. There's a very good chance that the Bulldogs will just take a knee here. The offense has struggled mightily throughout this second quarter after scoring early in the quarter, their first points of the season. The Bulldogs have been bogged down on offense, made a quarterback change. We'll see if they just try to run out the clock here on the kickoff. They have to run out 7 seconds after making the catch. Ortiz on to kick things off. It's a squib kick that jumps high over a returner, finally returned at the 10-yard line by Trey Wilson. Wilson cuts up across the 25, lowers his shoulder and just bowls his way across the 30. And that will do it for the first half. The Maroon Tide all over the Martinsville Bulldogs. 38-7 your score here at halftime. We'll come back and give you a full scoring recap of the first half. You're listening to Galax Football right here on WCGX, The Cat.
Ladies and gentlemen, we direct your attention to the 40-yard line. We have a special presentation this evening at the State Prison Competition held at Porter High School in Philadelphia, Virginia. Kristen Bartlett and Karen White placed first in the series hero category with their interpretation of Charlotte's Web, 81. These ladies started their journey to the state by placing third in the region in the Northern State High School, and then placing first at the Super Region at South High School. Galax Public Schools and the community are proud to recognize the athletic talent of these two ladies and their coach, Beth Smith.
Here at halftime at Galax High School, Kyle Bond with you as the Maroon Tide leads 38-7. A heck of a first half by the Galax offense as Cole Pickett was the star, but it wasn't all Pickett. Denver Brown, the tailback, set the tone early as we bring you an ISOM Collision and Custom Paint recap. ISOM Collision and Custom Paint, your hometown specialist for collision repair and custom paint projects. ISOM Collision is located 1 mile from I-77 between Jeff Johnson Chevrolet and Horizon Rental. Open Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Calls 276-728-4330 to schedule an appointment today. That's 276-728-4330. ISOM Collision and Custom Paint, supporting Tide Pride. So, we give you our scoring recap. Denver Brown got things started with an 11-yard touchdown run. He opened the scoring on the first drive of the game for the Maroon Tide as they marched straight down the field and scored. Cole Pickett then ran a pair in himself, won a short run of 2 yards where he cut to the right. Then off right tackle, he found the pylon on a 7-yard touchdown run. That put the Maroon Tide up 21-0. The fourth touchdown was the only one through the air. He found Zach Johnson on a 27-yard pass early in the second quarter down the sideline. An outstanding catch by Johnson, who was the star of game one as the Maroon Tide topped Glenver 32-29. Johnson had 3 touchdown catches in that game. Only one so far today, but it was a nice one as he came back for the football off his back shoulder to make the catch. And the final score for the Maroon Tide in the first half, Tristan Peckrin blasted out a 56-yard run Also, Eduardo Ortiz has a 29-yard field goal to cap things off. And he's 5 for 5 and extra points. He had one blocked, but it was illegal as the man who blocked it came up through the middle over the center. On the other side of things, Rashawn Dickerson has looked good at times as quarterback for Martinsville, but the freshman has also struggled making decisions. He overthrew a number of open receivers early who could have scored. Eventually did find a man for a 21-yard touchdown pass early in the second quarter. It's the first and only score of the season for the Bulldogs. And it looked like they had some life on offense. Unfortunately, after that, it was completely bogged down for the Maroon Tide. They went nowhere but backwards. One of the biggest plays of the second quarter being that intentional grounding call that served as almost a 25-yard penalty and pushed the Bulldogs way back into their own red zone. That's your scoring recap for the first half. All told, the Maroon Tide leading 38-7. Head coach Mark Dixon in the locker room will look to turn things around defensively and try not to allow any more scoring for the Bulldogs. I say turn things around, probably not the right phrase there, but look to be a little more precise defensively. As you can see from this Martinsville squad, they show flashes of athleticism, just learning to play the game. Otherwise, it's been fantastic from this Galax team. Another thing head coach Mark Brown will look for is cleaning things up on the turnover department. He mentioned that before the game in the pregame interview. And there was one fumble in the first quarter, a bad snap that was low for Cole Pickett, and Pickett could not grab it off the turf. In the scrum, Martinsville recovered. Really the only blight on the evening for the offense in an otherwise torrid performance for Galax. Again, all told, 38-7. We'll come back and look forward towards the second half. You're listening to Galax Football on WCGX The Cat. Your halftime score, 38-7, Galax all over Martinsville. And as we look forward towards the second half, as the Galax marching band is out on the field and doing a fabulous job, doing a little changeover between numbers. We look forward towards the second half, obviously with this score differential and a clear talent differential. The question, or the goals for the two teams are shifting a bit as we move into the second half. Galax likely has this one in the bag, barring some just absolutely unforeseen collapse. And that could all be but confirmed early in the third quarter. Both teams now will look to change things up as far as what they're looking for. For Martinsville, they've got their first points of the season. That's a big barrier, a big monkey off their back. Now they'll look to really build. Head coach Bobby Martin's in his first year. This is a new offense. It's a unique offense as Dickerson finds himself in the backfield in the shotgun with 3 tailbacks, 1 to either side, and 1 further behind him in the pistol formation. It's an interesting offense, and it's really set up for the run-pass option, and yet they're not really run-pass optioning. It's tough to do that at the high school level with a freshman quarterback and a new team. This team has experienced as a number of seniors in the squad, but they're all learning this offense, and it's going to take some time. So the Martinsville defense will just try to keep Galax locked down and give their offense as many reps as possible in a game situation. The more snaps this Martinsville offense gets, the more chances they have to learn the new offense, because you can only do so much on the practice field. Really, in a game is where teams can learn, teams can build, and teams can be in game situations. There's no replacing those snaps. So the more snaps this offense can get, the better. For Galax, the goals now become limit mistakes, which they really have so far. Cole Pickett, maybe with a couple overthrows in the passing game and the 1 fumble. Otherwise, the offense has been darn near perfect. The line has been spectacular every time that either of the tailbacks for the Tide in Denver Brown or Tristan Peckerin have the football. There are gaping holes along the offensive line. That's not going to change. Really, at this level, the talent disparity is going to see that continue. So the running game is about where you want it for the Tide. The passing game, just continue to be precise. Pickett will get some more reps. Cole Pickett, a junior, so he still has another year to go. And almost a full season here in his junior year. For Galax to start 2-0 will really be important. Just a couple more minutes before the second half starts. We'll come back and bring you all the action. 38-7. Maroon Tide leads here at home, and it's home opener in 2019. The lights are on. The sun is down. It's dark. And we are in Friday Night Lights. You're listening to Galax football on WCGX, The Cat.
Brothers followed us. They won our number. It must have meant something. Yeah, I think it's kind of good feeling. Yeah. Boy, I feel sorry for them. People with us. They like brothers looking up and playing. Poor old lady. I heard it. So you go first. He's up there from you and the rest of these all the time. I heard last week they had it. Where? Yeah, we win. I seen part of it. Yeah, they did. They were bad. It was bad. I don't know.
Start of the second half about to get underway. The two teams are collecting themselves. We've had a little time added onto the clock. Before halftime, Cole Pickett practicing his throws here on the near sideline. And on the far side, Martinsville looks to collect itself, talk strategy, talk athleticism. How are we going to get back into this football game? That may be out of reach, but certainly Martinsville will look to put on a good showing here in the second half and build towards the rest of the season. Next up for Martinsville, they return home for a pair against Dan River and Tunstall. They actually played Tunstall twice this year. Week 4 at home, and then second to last game of the season on the road. For Galax, the Tide has 3 straight at home, including this one. This is the first after opening on the road at Glenvert. Martinsville here at home, then Carroll County and Rural Retreat both here at home. Then they go 5 of the last 7 on the road. It's at Northside, home Fort Chiswell, at Wythe, home Auburn, at Bland Rocky Gap, and at Grayson County. So that's your schedule for the rest of the season for Galax. Head coach Mark Dixon already got a win under his belt on the road, and now looking for a win here in the home opener. The Maroon Tide leads 38-7 here at the half. Kyle Bond with you. Want to thank all of our sponsors. Aunt B's Restaurants, Blue Ridge Tire and Automotive, Chick-fil-A of Mount Airy, Isom Collision and Custom Paint, Twin County Regional Healthcare, Twin County Tire and Automotive, and Vaughn Gwynn Funeral Home. We looked through the scoring back at halftime. That scoring recap was brought to you by Isom Collision and Custom Paint. Also want to welcome you here to the broadcast booth, the Twin County Tire and Automotive broadcast booth. Call to schedule an appointment at Twin County Tire and Automotive at 276-236-0007. Team still milling around. Galax back here on the sideline on the near side. Still waiting on the Bulldogs just a couple of minutes before kickoff. Want to thank everybody here at Galax High School for their hospitality for this broadcast. Head coach Mark Dixon was nice enough to give us some of his time in the pregame show. That was kind of them. Sometimes high school coaches can try to keep things close to the belt, but head coach Dixon open with us, and we appreciate that here on the Cat. We will be at every game this season, today being our first broadcast. Last week the only one we're expecting to miss, so we should be on the air every Friday night through the rest of the season for the Maroon Tide, including the postseason, should they be invited to the postseason, which seems likely at this point. 38-7 the score. The Maroon Tide in control of this. Galax received the opening kick to start the ball game, so the Maroon Tide will kick to the Bulldogs to start the second half. Slowly getting things ready. Couple of calisthenics for the Bulldogs in the far corner. Trying to get the blood flowing here for the second half. We'll see how long head coach Mark Dixon leaves his starters in. Might want to get some of the underclassmen some time on the field, should the game continue to get out of hand. Martinsville finally returning to its sideline. We'll also see an interesting wrinkle here early in the second half for the Bulldogs. We'll see if Rashawn Dickerson comes back into the game at quarterback It was Trey Wilson, or excuse me, not Trey Wilson, Troy Odell to finish the first half under center. You wonder if that spells problems for the Bulldogs offense or if that was just trying to get Odell a rep or two before halftime. The clock has expired and the two teams are ready to take the field for the second half. Galax slowly pacing on the near side as the team waltzes onto the field. Martinsville still huddled on the far side as the referees look to get this one going. Great crowd here at Galax High School, filling out the bleachers as we have our vantage point on the left-hand 40-yard line up in the press box above the bleachers. A couple of folks from Martinsville in the far bleachers as well. So Galax set to kick off. With the ball down is Eduardo Ortiz. He has been fabulous today, kicking the football. 5 for 5 of extra points. 1 for 1 on field goals, and he's been great with kickoffs as well. Here's the boot. We're underway for the second half. It's a low-line drive down the left side. Broadcaster's curse as he tags that one out of bounds at the 15-yard line. And Martinsville will have great field position to start this second half. Kyle Bond with you at Galax High School. 38-7. The Maroon Tide with a commanding lead here over Martinsville. They will start at the 35. We'll see who comes in at quarterback. Well, it is Troy Odell at quarterback for the Bulldogs. So that may be a long-term thing, and right away, flags, well, no flags yet, but the referees blow it dead. There is a flag now, and that'll be a false start. So that pushes the Bulldogs back to the 30, 1st and 15. Martinsville has gone backwards often on offense, and they're starting there yet again on the second half. Snap back to Odell, fakes the handoff, takes it himself up the middle, and a gain of about 1 before he's smothered by about 6 maroon shirts. The Maroon Tide in their home dark reds with white numerals and white pants and white helmets. The helmets with the numbers on the side, kind of like Alabama does. For the Bulldogs, they have their road whites with red lettering, white pants, and bright red helmets. 2nd and 14. Odell in the gun, a running back sidecar right, and one up to his front left as well. The give is to the running back. Bouncing it out to the left side with some space, past the 35 and up to the 40. Carrying the ball that time is Zion Adams. A good gain for Adams, and it'll be 3rd and 6. As Adams makes it 3rd and respectable. Maroon Tide back to the line of scrimmage. One receiver to the near side right is Jaheel Martin. 2 split to the far side left. That's the tight side. Snap back to Odell. He looks left. It's a screen pass. Caught down there at the line of scrimmage. Pushing forward up past the 40 to the 42, but short of the sticks with the reception is Trey Wilson. Wilson receives the screen and gains 3, maybe 4. Give him 3, so it'll be 4th and 3. Likely see Martinsville go for it here. No, they're going to swap out personnel to the punting unit. Back to punt, Draco Cleaver. And to return for the Tide, Zach Johnson standing at about his own 30. Ball on the Bulldogs 42. Snap way over the head of Cleaver. He's going to run to grab it at the 20, try and punt it. He somehow gets a punt off. It lands at the 45 of Galax and rolls to the 40. What a job by Draco Cleaver, who had to scramble 15 yards behind where he was standing and somehow leg whipped a punt that landed in Galax territory. My goodness. I don't know how Draco Cleaver pulled that off. But all told, it's about a 17 or 18 yard punt, which given the circumstances is stunning. Galax with the football at its own 40-yard line. The Maroon Tide in the pistol formation. Pickett with one running back behind him. Takes the snap. The give is to Denver Brown. Brown up the sideline, up to the 50, where he's hit out of bounds for a first down. Brown with an 11-yard carry moves the chains. And just like they started the first half, the Tide begins the second half running the football and running it well. So 1st and 10 now into Bulldog territory at the 49. Looks like Brennan Bryson has some helmet issues. That's been sorted. Pickett takes the snap in the gun, fakes the handoff, rolls out to his right, has time, is being chased deep down the middle of the field. It's caught at the 15 and tackled at the 10. Caught in stride by Colton Keatley. A huge gain all the way down to the 9-yard line. A 40-yard gain. Just a pitch and catch by Pickett to Keatley. Looked as easy as you like. Pickett just stepped up and launched a missile right in stride for Keatley. So 1st and goal from the 9. Pickett having some words with Brown, who's sidecar right. Snap back. They fake to Brown. They're going to screen pass out to the flat on the far side for Bryson, who's tackled right at the line of scrimmage. Excellent play by Clarence Pluckett in coverage for Martinsville. Means it's no gain and 2nd and goal. That will swap hash marks now to the far side. Split receiver to the near side is Keatley, all alone. Snap. The give to Brown. Left tackle. Bounces it outside. Now cuts it back up the middle. 5-3. Goal line. Touchdown. Denver Brown skates his way across the goal line. And Galax moves into the 40s. It's 41-7. 44-7. Math is hard. 6th touchdown of the day overall for Galax, and the 2nd for Denver Brown. That one shifty as he danced left and right between the 2nd level and across the goal line. Waiting for the referees now before delivering the extra point. I tell you what, the referees love themselves some high school football. They are happy to move along quite slowly today. Finally, we're ready. Snap back, and it's blocked. Blocked by Martinsville, coming across Jeremiah Law to smother that one. The first missed kick of the day by Eduardo Ortiz. He'd made 5 extra points before that and a field goal. 44-7 the score. Galax well in control of this football game. Ortiz will recover from that blocked kick and now tee up his kickoff. Tough second half for Eduardo Ortiz so far. He put the first kickoff out of bounds on the near side left. Martinsville looking to get something going offensively. They do have their first points of the season after being shut out in week 1. Ortiz puts his boot through this one, high and deep down the middle, returning at the 4, and across the 20 to the 21. Before he's planted there is Delvin Roberts on the tackle for Galax, Josh Brown. So Martinsville with its second offensive possession of the second half. Bulldogs looking for something offensively just to push them into Galax territory. Troy Odell was at quarterback the first time for the Maroon Tide, and he's back there in the shotgun yet again. He's got a running back sidecar left in Roberts. 2 receivers split out to the far side left. That's the wide side. Shotgun snap, looking right, delivering.